All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, February 11th, Super Bowl Sunday, but we do have two NBA games on today that we're going to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. So all two, I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game. But as always, keep an eye on the pinned comment to see my final plays, what I'm actually rolling with myself, if you do want to do the opposite and fade those plays. Last night, kind of a weird one. We ended up going 3 and 4. Everything on the sheet here was a half unit play except for one of our wins, the Suns Nets under. So I guess that's the good news. But still, nonetheless, from a record perspective, 3 and 4. It's just, I guess, good to see that all the losses were half units. One of the wins was a full unit, but it was a weird NBA day yesterday. And I feel like leading up into, I guess, this weekend with the Super Bowl, but then even like the All-Star break coming up, it's like a weird time for NBA. But nonetheless, it wasn't like a terrible night. That looks worse than it was. Pascal Siakam finished between 18.5 and 19.5 points. That's why we kind of split the unit between it. So if he has one more point, it actually flips the whole day around. So I'm not discouraged by it. But nonetheless, 2 games on today's slate. We'll try and bounce back, but we're not really going to try and, we'll be conservative today. We're not going to go balls to the wall with 2 games on. So don't expect a bunch of plays in the pinned comment. Bad news. Our ride of the day. Got to drop the womp womp. Our ride of the day does not come through here, coming in from Eric. He had a couple in a row hit, and then Mikal Bridges lets us down yesterday. He finishes with 3 assists. So we're on the lookout for a new ride of the day. And this is going to be a tough day to pick one because there's only 2 games. But guys, if you don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is that hashtag ride of the day in the comments. I'm jumping on board with one person's pick, and then you guys get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. You also get a shout out over on my Twitter/X at EvGuyBoston. So make sure to go ahead and follow me there. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into today's games. We're starting it off with Miami hosting the Boston Celtics here. So these 2 teams have played twice this season. Celtics have won in both of them, 119-111 earlier in the year. And then about a month ago, or actually, 3 weeks ago or so, Boston won in Miami, like this game, 143-110. As far as the injury report goes, Jimmy Butler is questionable in this one. I do think that that's obviously going to matter, in terms of this spread. But this Celtics team is the better team. The problem is they really aren't playing the best basketball against the spread. In their last 10, they've covered just 3 games. In their last 7, they've covered just 1. Yes, 1 and 6 against the spread in their last 7 while winning 5 of those games. So Celtics are not covering as much here, but I do think that, they have covered plenty against the Heat, or at least this year, right? So I'm going to lean towards the Celtics. Their injury report really isn't anything. The 2 new guys, Springer and Tillman, on the injury report. Other than that, should be good to go. In terms of a total, both games this season have gone over, and I'm going to follow the trend here. I think that could be a slightly low number. It is the highest total they've had yet. But this Miami defense hasn't really been, they're kind of I don't want to say a facade or fake, but the offenses that have been going up against them, not the best, like Orlando, Memphis, Orlando again, Washington, San Antonio, Phoenix when they weren't really on their hot streak. They played a slow-scoring game against the Knicks, and the Knicks scored 125 on them, which I could kind of see being similar here, where the Celtics aren't going to try and push the pace or play fast basketball, but how can Miami stop the Celtics? I'm not quite sure they can. And the Celtics offense, say what you want about how I said that, they haven't been covering, right? Last 3 games, 131, 125, and then 133. So I do think that this is a spot in which the Celtics should go for like near 120, right? Which all of a sudden pulls this into reach. Because if Miami can go out there and score 106, then I do think we have some fire burning here. So give me the over as well. That's a slight lean. I like the Celtics minus the points more. And then a player prop I really do like in this spot is going to be Drew Holiday over 4.5 rebounds. If we jump into Outlier, by the way, guys, if you do want access to this tool, all you have to do is go to the link in the pinned comment. You'll get 7 days free over on Outlier. I love Outlier. Tassos uses it for the player prop videos as well. Go check it out, guys. After the 7-day free trial, if they don't smack you in the face with $1,000, no, it's $19.99 a month. If you profit using this tool a couple times, it pays for itself. That link is in the pinned comment. But anyways, Drew Holiday over 4.5 rebounds here. He's hit it in 74% of his games this season. If you look at it when he's on the road, he's hit it in 90% of games on the road. Like 90% of his games on the road. And we're looking at this here too. The 2 games he didn't this entire season. The 2 games he didn't. He landed on 4 on the hook. So I don't know what it is about Drew Holiday, but dude must love to get boards on the road. So I'm looking at that. I also don't mind using the outlier tool. They do have insights here. And look at this. Drew Holiday has exceeded 1.5 first quarter rebounds in 10 of his last 12 games on the road. Don't hate that. Also, Drew Holiday has exceeded 8.5 rebounds plus assists in 9 of his last 10 games on the road. That's another spot that I don't mind if we flash this over to rebounds plus assists and then look at him on the road. He's crushed it. I like the rebounds. I also don't mind the assists because if we do flash to his rebounds last 10 games, 8.6 rebound chances. Then Drew Holiday for potential assists, averaging 8. So we are looking at pretty near floor of 8 for him, right? So all we need is one more to go our way to cash this. So we might split a unit between rebounds, which is great odds at -104 over on FanDuel, and rebounds plus assists. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, I was kind of floored when I was digging and I saw Drew Holiday 90% hit rate on that. And shout out to Outlier for kind of digging deep and finding that for me with the Insights tab. And I know this is a basketball video, but before we do continue, let me tell you about Prize Picks and the offer they have. If you're watching this before the Super Bowl, there's still time to get your Patrick Mahomes square in. It is a free square over on Prize Picks, and if you're not signed up for Prize Picks, you can do so now. You can use the link in the pinned comment or use code GUYBOSTON when signing up. You'll get your first deposit 100% matched, and you get this free square. Come on now. You can't pick one player prop, throw it in here, and 3x your money. Go check it out, guys. Prize Picks link in the pinned comment. Let's get back to the last game for today's slate. It's a decent game. We got OKC slight favorites here, -3.5 over Sacramento in OKC here. Total sitting at 239.5. Starting with the total, I don't mind the under in this spot. Now you have two teams that play fast, or are able to play fast, I should say, right? But OKC has kind of slowed things down a little bit, and I wouldn't say it's truly benefited them, especially against the spread. Like, they did win 3 games in a row before losing their last 2, but that's kind of when they kind of pumped the brakes and slowed down a little bit, and they got outrun by Utah, got outrun by Dallas. So maybe I'm feeding into this a little bit too much because I also do like OKC in this spot -3.5. But I just don't envision this being an absolute barn burner of a game. They have covered they're 5-5 to the over and under in their last 10 games here. Sacramento 6-4. So it's like, okay, I'm looking at two teams that right now are fast-paced teams, but are not consistently covering overs in this spot, right? And then on the road here for Sacramento, so they've been pushing the pace more than OKC as of late. On the road this season, though, they've only hit the over in 38% of games. So yes, you have Sacramento, who is a really good road team, and I give them total credit for that. And they'll score a bunch of points. Like, what was the last game when they think they were in? They're at Denver, right? Or they're hosting Denver, so scratch that. But nonetheless, like, this is a good road team. They've been winning games. I get that. But their cover rate to the over is not that great. So I think this one stays under 239. Now, if this was like 234.5, I'd be like, all right, head scratching, right? So it's not really that big of a margin that I'm sort of predicting this game plan to go to. But nonetheless, I think OKC at home in a spot in which they probably are kind of pining for a win right now. Or at least they should be after losing to Utah by nearly double digits and then getting smoked by Dallas, right? Like, they should be back home, comfortable, and ready for this. But as we know, it's an afternoon game in the NBA, and anything can go kind of wrong or weird there. But a lot of rambling. I'm all over the place. I like OKC minus the points as well as the under here. Player props, nothing really jumps out to me here, to be completely honest. I don't mind looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's over rebounds. I know we just talked about the other point guard of another game with rebounds, but Shai has hit this 2 games straight against us, both this season against the Kings, 7 rebounds and 6 rebounds. Now his line's at 5.5, excuse me. That's a little bit too high for me to feel comfortable about it. You know what I mean? So we probably stick away from that. But yeah, no player props really jumped out or off the board to me in this spot. So guys, it's your opportunity. Get some ride of the days in there in the comments, everything like that. That's going to wrap for today's show. Yes, it's a shorter show, but we only had 2 games to talk about, and everyone's mind's going to be on the Super Bowl today. So go ahead and comment 9 if you made it this far into the video. Make sure you guys are following me on all of my socials that have popped up on the screen here, because we'll definitely have some shorts and TikToks out with other plays with Prize Pick, Sleeper, and all those cool apps out there too, with some more plays for the Super Bowl I envision. So make sure to go ahead and check that out, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.